Before you hop in the Bobcat and start operating it for the day, there's a few things you need to go over first. One of the most important things with these new machines is to make sure that the depth level is correct. You can judge the gauge by the green lights on the right hand side. That's your depth fluid. If it's low, you need to fill it up. And it's important to make sure you use a clean spout on the depth, because any little bit of dirt or debris that gets into the reservoir can cause serious damage. So if you've got a dirty cap or something from mud, clean it before you start to install the blue def. Make sure that your superintendent has this on site, and if you're done and there's still some fluid left in the container, seal it back up, put the funnel in the box, close it up, and store it in a clean place so it doesn't get contaminated. Another important task you got to do before you start operating is to make sure that all the mud and debris in and around the sprockets is clear. This should be done daily before use, because in these conditions, when the material hardens, it will absolutely destroy the sprockets, the rollers, and the idlers. So depending on the site conditions, you might need to do this before you operate in the morning, and also at the end of the day when you're done, just to make it easier up on the cleanup, because if this type of mud and everything hardens overnight, it's going to make cleanup the following day just that much harder. So take your time, don't skip it, because this is important to prolong the life of the equipment, because the sprockets is a repair that has to be done at the shop and takes a lot of time. Another critical task is to just simply check the oil on a regular basis. You can see on the oil filter, it'll have the date of the last time it was serviced. As you can see, that was in June, and this was shot in June, so the oil here is going to be at the right level. You're going to have good coloration. If the oil's low or is real black and dirty, you might have to schedule service for it or do it on site. The fuel filter and separator, water separator, is right here. If the machine sits for a long time, you might have to drain the bottom, but if you're using it regularly and keeping the tank full at the end of the day, then you shouldn't have an issue. Checking the hydraulic oil level is real easy. There's a window on the right side of the machine. If you're looking at it from the rear, you'll see there's an indicator in the green that shows normal operating level. If it gets below that, you need to add more, and then definitely check for leaks, because if that's draining, we need to get it in for service. Greasing the equipment, this is a daily routine. Don't put it off every other day. We run these machines pretty much 8 hours a day, so get this going before the day's tasks start. Some people say, oh, I don't have time to grease the machine. Well, when the machine breaks, that's downtime. So take the time, do things correctly. We've got the battery operator Milwaukee grease guns to expedite the greasing procedure. So just go through and hit every single grease zerk. It's really important to not skip one of them. And when you start to do the greasing operation, start at the bucket, because that has the most movement. You might want to remove the bucket so you can access the grease zerks a little bit easier. And if one doesn't take grease, you need to let your superintendent know. Don't just skip it and not tell anybody. Sometimes dirt gets into the nipple of the grease zerk and freezes up, and we've got tools that can break that free. So make sure the grease is flowing in and you see the grease come out of the sides. That's how you know you're getting proper application. If it just squirts out the top, it means it's not going through. So you might have to clean up the grease zerks before you put on the attachment, but take your time, do it thoroughly, and do it properly, and you'll make the machine's life greatly extend, because just the conditions on site.